But speaking of the classrooms, which is one of the places the mandate will reach, there is indoctrination in public schools, and it's happening whether you're aware of it or not. And if you think we might be making a mountain out of a molehill, you may want to check out a recently published report on indoctrination in public education that highlights examples from parents and teachers who believe that their school is active in the indoctrination of students and the faculty. With me now to talk about this report is the man who spearheaded it, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Lieutenant Governor, welcome back to the program.
Hey, good to have you. Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Governor, let me ask you this question. What prompted you to spearhead this report?
The people calling the office after we got in office, even before we got in office, while we were on the campaign trail. One of the top issues that we heard about was this particular issue from parents, teachers, and students reaching out to us, asking us if there was anything we could do about it. I actually experienced this when I was at the university level, and my children experienced it at the high school level many years ago. So we've always known it's been going on, but it seems like here in the last few years, these efforts have really ramped up, and so that's what called us into action was the people.
Now, this report, over 250 pages, you received and processed over 500 submissions from every region of North Carolina, and you identified 6 overarching themes. What were those? What was most prominent in the information that you obtained?
Well, I don't have it right here in front of me, and I can't remember them. I really can't remember them just from memory. But I think one of the most disturbing ones is the fact that these teachers and parents and students felt intimidated, like they could not talk about these issues because they really felt threatened. Students felt threatened that they may receive bad grades or be treated unfairly. Parents felt paralyzed because they felt if they spoke up that their children would receive that treatment. And teachers, some of them were literally in fear of their jobs if they spoke up about this issue. So I think out of all of the issues, I think that one particular one is the most damaging to our education system because it's so un-American for people to not be able to speak up and voice their opinions and their concerns.
Yeah, I read through the report, and that was one that was very prominent in the submissions. And you're right. That is antithetical to what it means to be an American, to be able to have the freedom of speech, that these parents were afraid, students were afraid, faculty were afraid. Some of the other issues that rose to the top, the sexualization of kids, the critical race theory, white shaming, biased news media, and then the shaming of certain political beliefs. I mean, again, all of that appears to be anti-American to me.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that really bothers me about this issue is the fact that so many folks will tout schools as a, quote, safe space for everybody. And as it turns out, many times schools, all the way from the university level all the way down to the elementary level, are not safe spaces for everyone. Some people who think contrary to some of their teachers or some of their administrators are actually being bullied and not being allowed to speak their mind, not being allowed to speak their piece, and being made in many cases to go along with other people's opinions.
Lieutenant Governor Robinson, was there anything in this report that surprised you?
No, for me, absolutely not. Nothing surprised me because, as I said, you know, this is not an issue. There was a senator out of Wake County. As a matter of fact, Wake County is the county, I believe, where we had the most complaints. But there was a senator out of Wake County, who said that this was a Fox News-driven issue. And that really set me off because I have stood in a room with teachers who were literally in tears because they felt like they were trapped in a corner. It was either give up their profession, speak up, and be forced to give up their profession, or go along with things that they patently disagreed with. And I've stood and talked to those folks. I've talked to them face to face and heard these complaints. And for him to characterize it as that was very upsetting to me. But there was nothing in the report that really shocked me.
30 seconds, Lieutenant Governor, but do you think the same would be found in other states if others looked into what was happening in the classrooms?
I absolutely believe that it would, and I think even more of it would come out if more folks would step up and have the courage to step up and complain. I think what we're seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg.
All right. Well, thank you for spearheading this, and thanks for coming on and sharing it with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.